Have you ever heard of a democratic country where a lawful resident, a permanent resident, was locked away in an immigration detention center like a nameless criminal? This is not fiction. This is Australia. And her name was Cornelia Rau. In 2004, Cornelia disappeared from a Sydney psychiatric hospital. She suffered from mental illness, moments of confusion, memory loss, speech that didn't make sense. Her family searched. Police searched. But instead of medical care, she fell into the black hole of Australia's detention system. In Queensland, local police found her wandering. She couldn't explain herself. She had no documents. They assumed illegal immigrant. And with that one mistake, her nightmare began. Imagine this. You live legally in a country. You have Medicare. You have permanent residency. But because of illness, because you cannot answer clearly, you are locked inside razor wire, labeled illegal. And no one believes you. Inside Baxter Detention Center, South Australia, Cornelia was caged for months. Her illness made her pace, scream, cry. But guards didn't see illness. They saw disobedience. They tied her down. They locked her in solitary confinement. They injected her with sedatives. A woman who needed medical care was treated as if she were a dangerous prisoner. Do you feel anger because this government, claiming human rights, turned a resident into a prisoner without trial? Her family finally saw her picture, not in person, but in the news. They had reported her missing. They thought she was lost. But she had been locked away by her own government. How could this happen? How could a democratic nation imprison its own lawful resident for months without anyone noticing? Officials blamed administrative error. They said Cornelia refused to cooperate. But the truth was brutal. The system was designed to strip away identity, to see only labels, illegal. Once labeled, you lose your name, your rights, your dignity. And the most shocking part, Cornelia was not the only one. An investigation later revealed hundreds of people had been wrongly detained. Some were Australian citizens. Some held valid visas. They were locked up for months, even years, without trial, without lawyers, until their health collapsed. Cornelia became the face of a rotten system. Her hollow eyes stared from the newspapers. Her story forced a public inquiry, the Palmer Report, exposing the cruelty at the heart of Australia's detention. Yes, she received compensation. But what is money against trauma? Cornelia lived, but part of her never came back. Now ask yourself, if tomorrow you lost your ID, if an accident erased your memory, if you could not prove who you were, can you be sure you wouldn't become the next Cornelia Rau? This was not just a mistake. It was a warning. A detention system built on suspicion, on dehumanization, on the idea that strangers are criminals, will always create more Cornelias. So here is the question. Can a society call itself democratic if it is ready to cage its own citizens behind walls of steel and silence? Cornelia Rau was freed, but the darkness she endured remains, waiting for the next victim. And if we forget her story, these prisons will not stop with immigrants. One day, they may come for us.